Greetings everyone, my name is Buck Business, and before I can begin this video, I know that I did say that the previous video would probably be our last, but after seeing such a trailer and such a transformation, I thought after giving it a little bit of breathing room that I would talk about the Sonic trailer, or at least the new one, by comparison to the old one. This is somewhat a phenomena that I don't think I have ever seen in the YouTube sphere or in media ever. Or at least to my knowledge. There could have been another time where a studio put out a trailer and said project looked bad and the people complained, and then the actual producers and animators and so on and so forth actually listened. To my knowledge, again, that just sounds like something I haven't actually ever heard before, or have seen before, and especially on the sphere of YouTube, that is just something that I have not seen very often. Again, I could be wrong, but to this extent I say, congratulations! This is well deserved, and this is also how you handle criticism properly. If something is bad, and it is then criticized, and then you address said criticism, that is how you handle criticism. By deflecting, by ignoring criticisms, you opt to keep what you are doing the same, then you don't improve. It is as simple as that, really. And that is, again, just something you don't see a lot on media in general. Again, there might be smaller examples that might be here and there around YouTube. I know I have my own personal comment section early on when I started without a microphone, and I was told very honestly and upright that I sounded horribly, and I proceeded to buy a microphone to adjust for said accident and to adjust for said criticism. So, and I'm sure, again, there are smaller examples, but this, by comparison, is of a much larger scale. This is a product that is very familiar to a lot of people. Probably one of the most influential game icons in our history currently, besides characters like Mario and the like. So, it is probably just naturally an imperative that they get the design down right first, and that was something that was severely lacking in the original trailer. So to see them not only address that issue, but to further address a issue that immediately came up at the same time as they are getting ready to announce the delay, is that people were very worried that there would be a crunch time, meaning that the people behind this would have to work overtime or work extra hours in order to fix this issue. And they also addressed that criticism by delaying the movie in general. Another well-placed move on their part to show that they are dedicated into listening to what the fans have to say. Now, other issues that might plague this movie outside of the animation will probably be apparent in the movie, and I am sure we'll all be there. All the reviewers will be there reviewing it, and those issues will come up, I'm sure, but at the very least, we can all say, from a majority perspective, and from an objective standpoint, that this actually just looks like Sonic. Or at least as close to Sonic as you could probably get within the time frame. And does not look like a hideous mess. So, you can at least say that much. And it does breathe a little life into the movie, where just looking at the previous trailer, it was just hard to look at what was happening on the screen because the CGI was just that bad. And don't get me wrong, as someone who has reviewed many of things, I tend to stay away from animation being a talking point in my own reviews, as there are certain projects where I feel like that wouldn't count against a particular project. The prime example I would use actually for this, of where I wouldn't feel like the animation or drawing portion matters that much, is a video game like Undertale. That is why I don't put as much emphasis on animation or drawing when it comes to review. But I still recognize it if it is something that is of a certain quality. Say in a CGI trailer movie such as Sonic the Hedgehog, then yes, I am going to point it out, and yes, other people are obviously also going to point it out if it's so off-putting that it's just that bad to look at. It is visually unappealing. People are going to speak up about that, of course. And, as I mentioned, this is how you handle the criticism. You give the people the time to fix it. You calmly tell the people that you are going to fix it, and then you produce the next trailer, and you show off, well, the actual trailer. And from there, you can get a lot of goodwill, which is exactly what I have been seeing. A lot more people are allowing themselves to just allow themselves, they're allowing themselves the opportunity just to see the movie, whereas before, they might have seen it, maybe, but I don't know. It just seems like, from a personal perspective, I think I actually would have just skipped the Sonic movie myself and just waited to see what other people think, and now I will review it. That is just something that will happen, and if I had seen it with the actual first trailer in mind, and if that was the entire movie, I actually probably would have pointed out how off-putting the CGI was in comparison to what the rest of the movie is doing. And again, I think that comes from a lot of different things. What are you trying to achieve? You're trying to achieve the expectation of a certain character. This is Sonic the Hedgehog. It should look like Sonic the Hedgehog. Or as close as Sonic the Hedgehog that you could possibly get. So you have to achieve that goal from an objective standpoint, or as objective as close as it can get to an objective standpoint. And I think from the time that we have last seen the trailer to this trailer, I think they've gotten as close as they can probably get it. So there is that. With that being said, I hope that this is a beacon of an experience for not only people who make movies, but people who have to handle criticism in general. This is just, on a larger scale, just an experience of people saying that this is not okay, please fix it, and people actually, behind the work, actually going to fix it. Far too many of time I have seen movie people deflect or try to say or defend or do all of these other tactics, say, it's something else or whatever, and that doesn't do the movie any favors in any regard, and this seems to actually do something for the movie. Again, it just, from the consensus that I have seen on the internet, more people seem to be willing to even give this movie a shot. And again, that could be a little bit off. The same people could have gone to see the movie for all I know. That is hard to gauge whether or not people are going to see a certain movie or not. I cannot predict that outcome precisely, but what I can say is this. Again, it is just beyond refreshing. It rises my own spirits. It makes me want to get better at my own content. Seeing someone actually handle criticism well, it makes me want to get better at what I do. So yeah, if you are out there and if you are a newer content creator and if you come across certain criticism, if it is within your power, then just address the issue if you can. Again, if you can. If you can't, then, try to explain your situation and see how you can get around that situation. Because, believe it or not, sometimes, at least within the YouTube community, there are some good community members. I know that's a hard thing to believe, but it does exist. You just have to go out there and kind of dig a little bit. So yes, just keep at it if you are a newer content creator. And if you're someone who is experienced, and if you're someone who is deflecting criticism, calling it something else like bullying or ignoring criticisms, then the only thing I'm going to say to you is that you're just never going to improve. You're never going to be a better content creator, period. That's that. It's as simple as that. You are not going to be any better than what you are now if you just keep refusing to ignore criticism, if you keep ignoring what is in front of you, if people are more and more inclined to share what is a flaw of your product. So be open-minded, take criticisms, and handle them well for future reference. And who knows, if things like this keep happening, this channel might come back, but I'm not getting any of your hopes up. I'm not guaranteeing that this channel will be back on a regular basis, but I will say that there is a possibility. I will probably change what I talk about, as there's no more room to talk about My Little Pony at this point. Those issues have passed. The season 9, all of that stuff is over. So again, there's just no need, unless, of course, there are any particular suggestions besides review. Perhaps a deeper analysis of the entire show in general, or something along those lines. If you do want to see something like that, then just comment, and I'll be a lot more likely to make another video on this channel. But until then, I'll just stick to the main channel, and as always, or at least I'll try to remember to link my main channel in the description, as well as my D&D campaign, to my collab group, the Six Striders. So until next time, everyone, farewell.